1880. Agriculture, the next generation on Northeast Radio SD gives you real stories from the heartland, family farms, and young farmers. Be a supporter with your brand, their legacy, and our airwaves. Contact northeastradiosd.com or call 605-878-1880 for more information.
Good morning, Northeast Radio SD. We've got a special guest with us this morning as we're getting a little closer to the session. They've had a couple of candidates announced. So today we've got with us a current legislator, District 4 House of Representative Kent Roe. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. You threw out your announcement yesterday officially, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we appreciate you coming in and joining us, and maybe we'll start a little bit of kind of talk a little bit about your background, kind of what got you into politics in the first place.
Okay. Well, I've always enjoyed staying on top of what's going on locally, and also a little background. I'm a Hamlin grad, 1984, and SDSU. Been involved in various business ventures along the way. Steal my friend Mike Derby's line, I'm a serial entrepreneur. So anyways, I lived in South Dakota for first 6 years of my life. Moved to Wisconsin for moved to Minneapolis for 3 and then to Wisconsin for 9. Had a business opportunity pop up here in Watertown, and 2006 moved back here and been here ever since. And kind of got into it through talking with other people who are active in the legislature, and also I have a pretty deep interest in rural water in South Dakota, and met a lot of people along the way doing that. Kind of falls into my focus on what's going on locally and infrastructure and how important all the things that we just take for granted truly are. So I think I bring some experience from that end of things. There was no single motivating factor. I'm not for or against anything in particular. I just think that my experience brings probably some levity to the conversation occasionally.
Yeah. And so this being, if you will, not your first rodeo, you've got some time under your belt now. A couple committees. Were you in the House Taxation Committee and the House Transportation Committee?
Yep,
is that right?
Those 2 committees, I'll serve on those again this coming session.
Okay. Anything that you kind of found of interest as you sat in on those, or?
Well, both of those committees had fairly light loads, especially compared to some of the other committees, and bills are assigned at the discretion of the leader, and I understand that. So it allowed me a lot of free time to really learn a lot about it, other bills that were going on, other things that were important on a state level, and also how they impacted District 4. And that found a lot of value in that. Got to meet a lot of people from different walks of life and different professions, different life experiences. I found it very good.
And District 4 is kind of unique because you're in multiple counties, too. So do you find that kind of unique where you have different people calling on you and maybe differing ideas, or do you find any issues with that, or how's that work for you?
I tell you, it's a pretty diverse, geographically, it's a very diverse district.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to remind my friends from District 5 that you can't get to District 5 without going through District 4.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, whether it's the Millbank area or Clear Lake, Willow Lake, Clark, I mean, it's I think it's 87 miles from the northeastern corner, which is Big Stone City, down to south central Clark County.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it's a big, it's where I grew up. So I have the advantage. I know a lot of the back roads, and I know kind of who not to bug if I'm running late. We've got corn farmers, soybean farmers. We got cattlemen out there. We got a few ranches out, especially in Deuel County. It's just a very diverse and interesting, very rural economy that we've got going. Millbank's the biggest town, and it's one of 26 towns in District 4.
Wow.
I think there's 11 or 12 school districts, and the very spread out.
Yeah. Well, what did you have any thoughts on the governor's budget that he talked about the other day? I know the economy is kind of something that you've talked about in the past too, and economic growth in the state. With the talks of trying to help with taxes and so on, did you have any thoughts on what they kind of he threw out there, or anything you're working on?
Well, Governor Roden's got his hands full, and I think everyone needs to realize that. We're coming out of the COVID era where there was a lot of funding sources that we simply don't have anymore, and a lot of pressure from all kinds of people, and legitimate pressure to cut here or cut there. And we go and we see, last year we gave the big three state employees, school teachers, and special care providers, they didn't get a real big raise. And in his budget, he's got a 0% written in there. It's hard for me to balance that against his desire to raise reserves from 10% to 12.5%. So, but we'll get it sorted out. I'm pretty confident of that. And again, there's last year's session there was kind of a cloud over it because we were all sorting out new roles and whatnot. And this year we're gonna see a unified legislature, happier bunch. At least that's my belief. So
Well, that's good.
And yeah, as far as the way I see it, economic growth is something that was fought over last session. And then I'll always be a huge proponent of economic diversity, economic growth. And I think we as a state, as state legislators, we need to kind of stay out of the way, keep a watchful eye that protects consumers and keeps the interests of potential harm in mind. But we're gonna turn the tide on this negativity and turn this into a positive, fun session. Mm-hmm. That's what I keep telling my friends. It's like we're gonna have some fun this session.
Yeah. Well, we had talked a little bit off air, and you had mentioned, you said although sometimes the perception can be negative, you said there's a lot of positives that come out of being in legislation and relationships and things like that you've acquired, if you will. So that there are positives, basically, is what you said for being in that.
Oh, absolutely. Bad news makes headlines, and I understand that. But the ebb and flow in peer between all of us is generally cordial, and a lot of times it's very enjoyable and friendly. And I understand people may not like hearing that. They think it's just a old boys club or something like that. I don't know, but mm-hmm. We've got a lot of positive people out there and a lot of great relationships that we're building on. So that I find that very rewarding as well. Yeah,
especially when you do hear even nationally division, a lot. So, so this will be the next session for you, and then the primary is going to be June 2nd, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll be dealing with that. Do you have any bills that come to mind from this last session that you did sponsor? Anything that you wanted to talk about or anything like that?
Well, not so much last session. This session here, I'm going to be bringing my bill. Will start in the House. It's the data center legislation bill, and data centers have been getting a lot of coverage from both ends of the spectrum and everywhere in between. I've been studying this topic since the end of March, and there's a proposed project in southeastern Deuel County that could do just loads of economic positive development. Numbers wise, Deuel County is roughly assessed. The assessed value of Deuel County is roughly $1 billion. The project proposed down there will have a projected assessed value of about $400 million. So that'll increase the assessed base of Deuel County by about 40%. Sales or property tax wise, and these numbers are not from me. These are numbers that have been given me by the Deuel County assessor and also the Vanguard, which works with counties to assess big projects or unusual, just not your run-of-the-mill houses or farms. So I trust their numbers too. They're talking north of $5 million in property tax that this site will produce for Deuel County. The school funding formula, 58% of that would go then into the school funding formula. The site sits in two school districts, or sits in the Dubrook School District, which is in 2 counties. So having a little bit of fun sorting out how that would get split up between Deuel County, Brookings County, and the Dubrook school system. So, again, it's positive economic news. Some really good construction jobs during construction, and then over 200 jobs full-time for a very long time. And it's a shot at some legitimate new economic development. And national security wise, we're hearing our president tell us that this is where we're going. We're in international competition with China and other bad actors that we don't even hear about. We've got the benefits of data being not only national security, but health. Precision farming is using data at incredible rates. Your schools were probably being broadcast through a data center somewhere.
Yep.
So moving beyond a property tax, we're looking at sales taxes on the energy that they use, which right now is being exported out of the state. So somebody else is using it, and we're not collecting tax. South Dakota is a net exporter of electricity. There's a lot of good here.
Wow. Yeah, that would the electricity tax alone, I think, would be very beneficial from what I understand. So
it's north of $10 million a year.
Wow.
And that sales tax that goes to the state, that would roughly pay raises on the big three. So
yeah, wow.
Just throwing that out there. I don't want to get in trouble with my appropriator friends, but it's just underlying proof that economic growth works. And there's legitimate concerns about the power supply, about the existing infrastructure, and how projects like these impact utility rates. At the end of the day, my bill will cover that. It's hard to use the words cost, cause, or pays in bill text. So we're trying to get that figured out. But at the end of the day, when these entities build, it's no different than when you or I build a house. We want electricity, we're going to pay to get it dug in or wired in, however you want to say it. So just on a scale that's hard to grasp, but really got to hand it to the utility companies. The utility companies are hands down far more invested in these projects than we are, and they are vetting these things, and they're vetting them because they need to protect their existing customer base, which is you and I, and also try to predict future use. So they have to do all that, then they bring it to the PUC. There's roughly, beyond the legislature, there's the PUC that's involved in this and the power companies. Everybody has to come to agreement before these things can land and have a true impact. So it's a very, very thorough vetting.
Yeah, and even the local commissioners will get involved if they need to as well, and so it goes through a lot of different chains of command, right? That's the right term.
Well,
hurdles.
I've since March I've worked with township people. I've worked with county commissioners. I've worked with school officials. I've worked with industry, data industry people, whether it's Meta or Google or NetChoice. I've worked with the administration. I've worked with the governor's office of economic development. I've worked with other legislators trying to get this thing right. And I'm confident we're gonna get to a very good place here in January through March.
Yeah, well, that'd be very cool to take a look at that, and then maybe we'll have to talk about it more when it kind of gets in session and start talking about that. That's interesting. Okay, so we've got Kent Roe in here. He's a Republican candidate, just announced yesterday. I want to make sure before we wrap up, though, is there anything else that you want to get out there? You know, I know you got a good website out there, too, that's got a lot of good information, so we'll get that attached to our interview and everything. But anything else you want to get out there?
Just get out and vote. And obviously, I would like you to vote for me, but just do your civic duty. If we don't participate, then we only have ourselves to blame when things aren't what we want them to be. So always, every chance you get to vote, whether it's for dog catcher or president or somewhere in between, do it. It's important.
Yeah, it's hard to take them seriously if you didn't get out there and vote. So exercise your privilege or your right. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So check out your website. Is it just kentroe.com?
Kent Roe for House.
Kent Roe for House.
Yep.
And then you got a Facebook page.
Facebook and Twitter, and yeah, it's hard to keep up with all the social media stuff. The easy thing to do is, I'm sure you can find my phone number if you want to call, pick it up and call, or if you want to text or email. Owners of data centers, you can find me.
Perfect. Well, yep, all you got to do is Google and a bunch pops up. So perfect. Well, thank you for coming in, Kent. We appreciate it. Appreciate your public service. I know that can be very complex at times, and you put a positive spin on it too. So appreciate that, and good luck to you.
Well, thank you, and congratulations on your new venture. This is a big deal.
Yeah, thank you.
I love entrepreneurs. They're the bread and butter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's fun, and it's nice having this connection to be able to bring the state down to the local, and now if we can get these data people involved, and maybe we'll get them all in here and interview them all and learn a little something. So that'd be cool.
Well,
very good. All right, well, there you have it. That's Kent